What up, Facebook? Giving it a few minutes for folks to join and the doggies to get comfortable behind me because they can't be alone. They're super needy. They won't leave me alone for 2 minutes, which is awesome. Hey, Holly. Happy Saturday. How's your day going so far? It is Saturday, isn't it? Yes, it is. It is. How's everyone doing out there? Doing anything fun and exciting? Hi! Enlighten me with the wonderful happenings of today. Did you guys get out? Get outside? Where did you go? What did you do? I want to hear all about it. Hey Nellie, what's up? Hi. Good to see you. I had a pretty good day. I got up relatively early. I usually get up at around 6:30. Lay in bed for about an hour contemplating the meaning of life. Oh, Holly, you did Brian's workout. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love starting Saturdays with Brian's workout. I haven't done it in a while. I hurt my knee skiing some months ago, and I haven't been able to do a whole lot with it. But I miss his workouts. That is how I start my Saturdays. Oh my gosh, for 4 or 5 years now, Brian's been doing the Saturday morning workouts since before ROCovery. He's actually been doing them, I think like 10-ish years. He was doing them just for work. He works at CooperVision. For friends and peers and different things, and then slowly but surely it became a ROCovery workout for the most part, and then a lot of other folks joined. Did it late but did it, which means it was right on time. You did it when you were supposed to, so not late at all. Hey Mike. Mike, funny story. I didn't really want to go to Wegmans or to the supermarket. I've been a little weird around that. And I ordered delivery from Wegmans, and it was through an Instacart driver, and his name was Mike D. He didn't put his full last name, and I'm like, Mike D, do I know you? And he did not, so it wasn't you. Bit of useless information there. Hey, Mary Ellen, welcome. Hey, Lisa, welcome. But yeah. So how's everyone doing on this Saturday? Brian's workout, that's a great way to start. I had some bad news earlier today. A friend shared about the passing of someone I know, and it was really sad to find out. He's a pretty incredible guy, as we all are, right? And just thinking about his family, thinking about all his loved ones, all those that are hurting. Hey, Mike, good to see you. Yeah, it's sad. I saw a sad face go up. He was a member of ROCovery, and a funny story or a cool story. He really wanted a ROCovery hoodie. Really wanted a ROCovery hoodie, and he saved up for I don't know how long, and he finally got this hoodie, and he used to wear it all the time. I saw him at a I don't know, it was like not a legislative breakfast or some kind of fundraiser for one of the larger treatment centers or residential programs, and it was like a business attire or like business casual, and there he is in his ROCovery hoodie, and he was just so happy, and I didn't know he was going to be there. I was really excited to see him, so I'm really sad to hear that he lost his fight. It makes me really sad when people struggle, anyone struggles, but especially I said this a couple of days ago. God can't keep all his angels here on earth with us, So, I don't know. I just wish he could have stayed. Which brings me back kind of, I guess, to what we talked about a little bit yesterday in terms of acceptance. You know, what do we do with the information we receive? Do we allow it to destroy us or bring us down, or does it have a negative effect, or do we use it as fuel, right, to give us power to make us stronger? Sorry, guys. Any of you that know me know I'm a crier, so disregard. I cry all the time. Like all the time. Hi, Tom, Nikki, Jake. Good to see you guys. I'm having all the feels right now, so a little emotional, but, you know. So, on that note about being emotional, I was reading some more out of that book I mentioned, Man's Search for Meaning, by Viktor Frankl. I'm reading a bunch of books right now, and I'm like halfway through all of them, so I keep going back and forth. But I was reading last night, and it was some things I underlined that I wanted to share with you. And it's about the state of balance or equilibrium, right? And this was really interesting to me in terms of, and I talk about that growth coming from a place of pain at times, you know, and a place of darkness. So I'm going to read it to you. Thus it can be seen that mental health is based on a certain degree of tension. The tension between what one has already achieved and what one still ought to accomplish, or the gap between what is and what one should become. So that was really interesting to me, because it talks about, and it later goes on to say, I consider it a dangerous misconception of mental hygiene to assume that what man needs in the first place is equilibrium or homeostasis, a tensionless state. What man actually needs is not a tensionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for a worthwhile goal, a freely chosen task. I absolutely love that. It talks about striving for a goal, you know, not setting a goal and getting to that goal. It talks about the process of that goal. And it also talks about this level of discomfort, which is needed for growth, this level of tension. And I see Nellie. He said, me too. You're going through it today. I'm sorry. This is the place to be human. And you know we're here for you, and please reach out. Message me, message ROCovery. We're all in it together. And Lisa, don't apologize for crying. Don't disregard your crying. Your heart was made to love, and with that comes pain over loss. You have a beautiful heart, and your friend is worth crying for. We should all cry over loss of life, even if it is a stranger. Sending virtual hugs, love and light to you. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with crying. I always discount it, but I also cry a lot. So for me, sometimes I got sober and I started to feel my emotions and allow myself to feel them without having to numb them, you know? And with that, I've turned into like a full-on crier. So I do laugh it off because it happens in sometimes, not right now, but sometimes in the most inopportune times, like in work-related fancy pants meetings when it's not always the best situation. Yes. Holly, let the river flow, girl. It's a good release. It is. It is. I actually haven't cried today, so I guess this is the time for it. Right? So away from the reading, I'm going to be talking about humanness and our emotions. and our need to really feel them and not run from them. For a long time in active addiction, and definitely the first, couple of years, and sometimes still in recovery, there was a tendency for me to mask how I was feeling, to numb my emotions, to find any which way, like desperate ways to not feel. In recovery, whether it was shopping or spending or gambling, or I have a history of eating disorders, so in the past, just using anything to not feel, to numb out, to just escape, and it's one of those really gifts of recoveries that we get to feel, we get to feel, and we're able to do so without picking up a substance, without anything to exaggerate the feeling if it's a good feeling, or to make the feeling go away if it's an uncomfortable feeling. And it's really sad when, because my friend was in a lot of pain, right? And I could relate to that pain. I remember it. That doesn't go away, that darkness of addiction, the darkness of those experiences, the pain and the hopelessness. So kind of having that knowledge, knowing what I know, having found recovery, having found purpose and meaning, it really breaks my heart to see other people that are lost and unable to find it, or just struggle with it. But I understand it, and I know a lot of you guys do too. It's not having virtual, or not having real life meetings and interactions, and relying on virtual support further isolates those that are isolated, right? And further isolation, or any isolation, we know isn't good for addiction or addiction recovery. It just causes so much more pain that we're not, many of us aren't able to tolerate or cope with. For me, my addiction really started through just a lack of coping skills, not knowing how to get through the day-to-day, from when I was younger, just having anxiety, not knowing how to cope, learning how to cope through the use of drugs and alcohol, seeing it as normal at first. I see people drink, socialize. My parents drank, but they didn't have the disease of addiction, and I did. So for me, it wasn't to take the edge off. Taking the edge off for me turned into a full-blown addiction. And it was how I coped, until I couldn't continue living the way I was living. It was the only normal that I knew. So to be able to have feelings, right, and have coping skills, and be able to let down my guard some, and sometimes I can't control it, it just comes out. It's a gift. It's painful, but it's a gift. Hey Candace, hey Karina, good to see you guys. Jake wrote, I think I've held back the tears for so long, it's hard to get to that point. I do get sad and feel depressed at times, and I think that's where the healing comes, is to cry. It's something it's something I'm actually trying to work on, being vulnerable enough to feel all the feelings and past that I've been avoiding. I think it's very powerful to be able to cry and feel that way. Absolutely, it is. It really is. I know crying is definitely a release. Vulnerability is super scary. Being human is super scary. You guys are wonderful. I'm gonna cry again. Nelly, what I was saying, me too, is because I'm a very emotional person too. Bothers me because I don't like everyone to see me like that. But girl, cry and cry if that helps. I watch TV and I will cry over anything. Girl, you're not kidding. I'm glad that you're sharing that, because maybe you and I could help each other get through the loss of people, because I need to recover from the past also. Love you, Yana. And Rena, I love you so much. I will never be able to express enough how much you inspire me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the love and the support. Marie, I cry to feel what I always ran from. It's good to feel now. Yeah, thank you so much for helping me get through this today. I didn't think I was going to talk about it. And I guess I didn't realize how much it impacted me. But thank you so much for being here for me, because you guys are really helping a whole lot. Man, this wasn't how I planned for the check-in to go. But I really love that, like, we really are in here together. You know, we're here for each other. We're going to get through it together. And thank you for allowing me to be human with you and to share some of my pain. And please know that, you know, like, it's a safe place. And I don't mean like Facebook right now with anyone has access to see these videos, but like, we're safe people. You know, myself, I know you guys, I feel relatively uncomfortable, but I know that, you know, it's okay to be human. So please know it's okay to be human. If you need to reach out, odds are many of us, or a lot of us, can relate to maybe not the experience, but if not the experience, definitely the feeling. You know, and if nothing else, I think the biggest thing, like, I want you guys to know is not to give up, not to ever give up. If anyone's watching and may be struggling or may have a bad day or a bad night, please don't give up. You know, you have support, you have a network. There are people here that love you and will help walk alongside you. Nikki, love you too, girl. We are family. Family's a shoulder to lean and cry on. Absolutely. Grief is a powerful thing. Trauma is too. I don't know if you guys can relate, but I know for me, it's like all these little everyday traumas, you know, like, not even talking about grief, but those little experiences I had growing up, whether someone made fun of me or a breakup with a boyfriend or an argument with a friend, whatever it may be, all those things have just added up. And especially in recovery, all the losses we've experienced just added up, you know. So now it's when I'm kind of like an empath in some ways, so when I feel fully. And I think a lot of folks in recovery are that way too. You know, we feel our emotions so intensely, but it's because we have so much empathy and so much love and can relate to those experiences in such a unique way. So, you know, when I think about loss, I think about all the people that have gone before us, right? All the people that we've lost, and all the reasons that we fight and we keep going. Hey, Vinny, love you too. Michelle, Ricky, Dean, Jenny, Jenny Lee, thanks for joining, guys. We're just having an emotional evening here, talking about some of the losses in our lives in recovery, but also the ability to be human, to have feelings, to get through really difficult times and not have to pick up, not have to use drugs and alcohol. The closest I got to returning to use was when I lost one of my best friends some years ago. And if it wasn't for the community, if it wasn't for the people in my life that supported me and helped me, I don't think I would have been able to make it. You know, it is about the family. It's about that connection. And it's not just loss. It could be anything, you know. Wanting to not feel or to numb is just a natural part of the disease of addiction. But using drugs and alcohol doesn't have to be the natural solution for it, you know. Being able to talk openly and honestly, and knowing that there's people you can talk to that will understand. You know, if I talk to someone that isn't educated on addiction recovery, doesn't have the awareness of it, you know, they might not understand. Like if I told a stranger, I just lost a friend to the disease of addiction, and it makes me really sad, and it makes me want to use drugs or alcohol, they're going to look at me like, what are you talking about, But we have a way of understanding each other, like some other people may not, that haven't gotten through it, or gone through it, rather. So it is safe to talk about it, with those in our circles. Yeah. Gosh, my plan got a little derailed, or my thoughts about this evening, but it goes along with like making plans, right? Kind of allowing the universe. Part of what I wanted to talk about was how we're all kind of messengers for one another. Things, synchronicity. Lisa mentioned synchronicity, and it's actually a word that's come into my life since I lost my best friend. There was a message for me, a couple of messages, and they mentioned the word synchronicity, which isn't a common word that's used. So whenever that word comes up, it just reminds me of it. So I think about all the beautiful people in our lives that are messengers. I believe we all come into each other's lives with a message to deliver. Whatever my message is, whatever you get out of my message, right? Like it's different for everyone. I don't know what message you're supposed to get, and I'm not sure what message I'm supposed to get in interactions until I get that message, But through the help of a friend, I've gotten to this place where, everything happens for a reason, and I can see this idea about being messengers for one another and supporting one another, and just having acceptance and appreciation for that moment, not jumping to tomorrow, the next day, a week from now, because we're not promised that, but I also don't know, the what ifs. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. What if I do this differently? What if I didn't start crying tonight, right? What if I wasn't real with you guys? What kind of message would you get then? All things to think about, Sometimes I think I have to hold up some kind of persona, and it's just not true, right? I'm just like everyone else. I'm no different than any of you guys. I think we all have a really powerful message, and I'd love to. That's why I always say I'd love to hear from you guys and what you have to say, because I want to hear those messages. And to the incredible couple from the soap company, and I didn't grab your name, and I'm sorry, that I saw at the public market. Hi. I was wearing a mask. It was a pretty cool experience. I was wearing a mask, and they said they recognized my voice from these check-ins, which is super duper cool. It made my day. Because sometimes I wonder, some days I'm not feeling super motivated, and I wonder if you guys get anything out of this. I know I do every night, because I always walk away feeling a lot better. So you guys really made my day. It's great. And I absolutely love your soaps. So if you guys are interested, I have the card. I'll post the information. There's a stand at the market. The market's still open. You have to have your face mask, have to, and maintain your distance. But there's some pretty incredible local vendors there. Synchronicity. Messengers. Nellie, I have come to the realization that if you don't ask or talk, then you might not be ready for recovery. I know I'm serious about that, and I have grown so much since I got you guys. I'm really glad, Nellie. Really, really glad. We are all in this together, and we are here for one another. And I really appreciate you guys being here for me tonight. I really needed it. Jake, always trying to keep things positive with all of this going on. I feel so grateful that I have this community to be able to reach out and connect with. So very thankful for these videos as well. I get a lot out of them. I get a lot out of them too. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. it's really great being here tonight. I do feel a lot of relief. And I hope that you got something out of this tonight. But please reach out. Please, please, please reach out. Recovery, life in recovery is so beautiful. The painful times, the challenges, the wonderful times, the happy times. It is really so beautiful. And I promise you we can get through anything together. We absolutely can. So thinking of each and every one of you, thinking of my friend and his family, wishing you all a wonderful Saturday, and looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Make sure you get outside, check on your people, love one another, and be kind. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.